As the fighting began, I saw Russian forces launching an assault on Ukrainian positions from several different directions at once. A couple of tanks, both fitted with anti-drone cages, steadily pushed toward the village. Eventually, their armored vehicles moved close enough for Ukrainian artillery to get them in range. Ukrainian gunners opened with a series of precise artillery strikes. The hits slowed the Russian advance for a short moment, but it wasn't enough to halt the attack entirely. Still, that barrage wasn't wasted. Those strikes bought just enough time for Ukrainian FPV drone teams to get into position and prepare their drones for launch. Within moments, several drone crews sent their FPVs into the air, immediately starting the hunt for Russian armor. The first kamikaze drone operator didn't wait. He flew straight toward the enemy column, and luck was absolutely on his side. The drone slammed into its target exactly as intended. The second Russian tank tried to maneuver around the disabled one in front of it, but it barely got moving before another FPV drone hit it directly. Taking out just 2 vehicles isn't nearly enough. A new wave of drones was already being prepped for the next attack. Russian anti-drone systems did manage to intercept a few incoming FPV drones, but Ukrainian operators matched them with skill, timing, and persistence. The lead armored vehicle in the Russian convoy took several direct hits, more than 3 FPV drones, before it was finally neutralized. Not long afterward, a second vehicle following it was also taken out. As the fight intensified, the entire Russian convoy found itself under a relentless barrage of Ukrainian drone strikes. One vehicle after another was knocked out. The increasing amount of drones needed per target shows just how quickly Russian anti-drone tactics are evolving. Then I came across this ridiculous-looking Russian invention, a tank wrapped in a thick mesh of metal cables. This new modification is something I hadn't seen before. It's a fresh attempt at extra protection, and breaking through it will probably require significantly more FPVs, possibly up to 10 hits for a single kill. Even so, the cost of 10 drones is still far lower than losing a single tank. And honestly, given how effective this approach seems, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing this kind of cable armor becoming more common across Russian armored vehicles. A number of Russian tanks made another attempt to punch through Ukrainian defensive lines at full speed. But Ukrainian FPV operators had already set a pre-planned ambush, and they waited patiently until the Russian armor was well within striking distance. You really have to give credit to the Ukrainian military here. Their strike was perfectly executed. They took advantage of a momentary lapse in Russian awareness and began targeting every enemy vehicle that moved into their operational zone. The Russian crew realized what was about to happen. They bailed out of their armored vehicle as fast as they could, and this time the drone pilot got extremely lucky. The fleeing soldiers left the door open. Hitting a vehicle from the inside is always the most effective and least expensive way to guarantee a kill. And it didn't take long to see the outcome. Mix expert piloting with just a bit of luck, and the explosion speaks for itself. From the opening minutes of the assault, it became clear the Russians had badly overestimated their strength. After repeated failed attempts to push Ukrainians out of the forested defensive lines, Russian troops brought in the UR-77 Meteorit, a vehicle normally used for clearing minefields, but due to weapon shortages, they're now using it as an offensive strike system too.
Сейчас громко будет. Давай, вперед, вперед.
For a while, the battle stagnated, heavy fire exchanged on both sides, but no real progress made. Trying to change that, Russia deployed a TOS-type heavy flamethrower rocket system. Luckily, Ukrainian reconnaissance was fully alert and immediately warned frontline units about the danger. Ukrainian troops pulled back from their positions just minutes before the bombardment began, a perfect example of coordinated decision-making. Russian gunners continued to fire, unaware that their perfect plan had turned them into easy prey instead. Ukrainian drone operators moved in quickly, not only to protect their own soldiers but also to strike every valuable enemy asset that had been brought forward. The operation began with the destruction of several UR-77 demining vehicles hit by dropped munitions. Moments later, FPV pilots intercepted a Russian multiple rocket launcher that failed to pull back in time. Even though FPV operators work far from the direct line of fire, their job is just as dangerous as frontline infantry. Both armies actively hunt for enemy drone pilots, and the riskiest moments are during rotations. That's when crews are most vulnerable. In this case, Ukrainians spotted a Russian FPV drone heading straight toward them just in time and managed to evacuate their vehicle. The drone attempted to hit the soldiers but missed. All Ukrainian troops survived, and even the vehicle remained unharmed. Later, two Russian armored vehicles tried to break through Ukrainian positions at high speed, but their plan collapsed almost immediately, and a FPV drone hit the lead vehicle, forcing it off the road and into the trees. The next drone operator arrived seconds later, carefully taking aim and landing a precise strike. The blast caused serious damage, but one more hit was required to fully destroy the vehicle. After finishing the first target, Ukrainian operators shifted their focus to the second one. It didn't get far. A new wave of kamikaze drones caught it quickly and knocked it out with the first hit. Additional strikes finished the job. Some Russian crew members escaped into the forest, but deep inside enemy-controlled territory, their chances of survival are extremely low. Not long ago, fiber optic drones were considered rare. Now they're widely used. They may not travel far, but they hold one major advantage: they don't lose signal in dense forests. This time, Ukrainian operators used one of these drones to sneak up on a Russian ammunition stockpile and destroy it. The pilot approached silently and hit the exact spot the Russians weren't expecting.